I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. Do you believe in fate, Neil?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you want to know what it is? It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neil. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All this week, we've taken you to cities along the West Coast to investigate homelessness in this country. From the beginning, we planned to show how much the problem has grown, but even we were shocked by the scale of the epidemic in the places we visited.
18 of the richest people in America calling on the 2020 presidential candidates to tax them more. Why do you want to pay more taxes?
It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's pretty plain. It's right there in sight for everybody. We are not paying our fair share, and we have not been for a really long time.
Yeah.
In fact, the last bit of tax relief relieved a hell of a lot of people that didn't need relief. So it's time that we start speaking up and saying that we don't want any more tax benefits. We really want to see a healthy society. It's huge. It's the game changer that we're living in right now. It's because we're creating a super class so far above the vast majority of people that they don't share the same planet anymore. 47% of American people can't cope with a $400 emergency.
Explain that, though, when you said don't share the same planet. I don't think
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think that the people who are on their private jets or living in incredible riches can even begin to digest what it means to not have $400 for an emergency. I mean, that's just couch cushion money for them. So we've stopped sharing the same reality.
How many of you would agree with this statement? Americans have gotten less reasonable, less rational, less optimistic, and more subject to bad ideas in the last 20 years. So majority of hands are up. Now, the reason why that feels like the case is because we have introduced record levels of financial insecurity into our population. And studies have shown that if you cannot pay your bills, your bandwidth gets constrained cognitively because you're just trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And it has the functional impact of reducing your IQ by 13 points, or 1 standard deviation. So if you have the feeling that our fellow citizens are getting less reasonable, less rational, less optimistic, and more subject to bad ideas, they are. Because that is exactly what you would expect if you can't pay your bills in a country where 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and almost half can't afford an unexpected $400 bill. So what we do is we get the boot off their throat economically. We say, look, you're the citizen of the richest, most advanced economy in the history of the world. Here's a $1,000 dividend for you and your child. And then all of a sudden, they'd become much more reasonable, rational. If you say, hey, climate change is real, they'll be like, oh yeah, I really need to worry about that. Because you can't worry about a problem that seems like it's years away if you can't pay next month's rent.